I'm so lucky to have these guys keeping me company. It makes me very happy. Luca, hi. What you doing? Luca. You two afraid to come in the room. The vacuum's on. Okay, so day 3, home from hospital. Yes, I still look tired. I didn't sleep well last night. It's really weird. I'm finding that I almost feel like I need to have weight on me, like a weighted blanket or something, but then it's summer, so it's hot. I don't know. There's some strange sensations I'm feeling, and I'm not sleeping well from it. Yeah, I was awake from like about 2 o'clock this morning. Went back to bed again at about, I don't know, 6. And got a couple of hours. But yeah, I'm just really, I don't know, today as well as being physically tired, I'm trying to focus on the positives because I'm feeling a bit down today. And the positives are that I have got more strength back in my arm. That is really exciting. It does fatigue, so I've been doing a little bit of research and trying to work out and learn from other people's lived experience what is good ways to cope. And I've got a lovely ex-client of mine that I used to see clinically when I ran my clinical naturopathic practice, and she'd advised me about how she herself had gone through a traumatic brain injury, and gave me some tips about things she'd learnt, including this rule of rest for I'll have to double check it, but it was something like doing something but only doing it for 15 minutes and then having, a rest afterwards. It's really difficult because your brain, like my brain, is perfectly normal. I didn't get any effects, so it just wants to do the things, and the lethargy is a side effect of what I've gone through with the dissection in my C6 cervical spine, and the subsequent neurological spinal symptoms in my right side of my body, my arm and my leg, and the pain that comes and goes with that is really interesting. With use I get a lot of pain, so I'm trying to not use it too much, but then of course to recover you have to use it, so it's a bit of a dance between the two. It's going to take patience on my part, which for anybody who knows me, I'm not very patient. It's definitely not one of my vices. So pacing myself is going to be key, I think. Resting when my body wants to rest. I feel so tired. Yesterday I was so tired, and today I'm so tired. And I actually think, wow, normally I would have no reason to be so tired right now. But when I'm seeing it from, if I was looking, as a clinician or even as a friend at someone else going through what I have experienced, I would certainly give them more empathy than what I'm currently giving myself. So I need to cut myself some slack. Interestingly enough, I found that I'm having short of breath. I don't really understand that, because prior to this happening, I was really fit, super fit. Hot yoga 4 times a week, walking my dog, 3 to 4 times a week, and not just a cash stroll, a proper walk, power walk, for an hour and a half at a time. So this strange breathlessness, I really don't understand that, and yeah, I guess I'm just going to keep a journal of, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing, I guess, it's all here. But keep a record of, what my experience is, so that when I go to follow up with the neurologist, I can let them know, I'm feeling breathless just talking right to you now, which I'm finding strange. But anyway, this is all a really strange journey, where I'm learning all these new things about my body, learning about my limitations. And look, I'd love to hear from anybody, about what, if you've had a stroke of any kind, or a dissection in your artery. I'd love to hear your experiences, what helped you, what didn't help you. Like I find that heat is really unhelpful for me, whereas being in the cool is rather helpful. Um, Feeling really breathless. I'm really wondering what that is about. So if you get those symptoms, please let me know if you feel breathless. I'd love to hear what you've got as tips and tricks. I'm continuing on with my getting back to my healthy lifestyle now that I don't have to eat horrible hospital food anymore. I'm back to green juicing in the morning. Usually that's a combination of celery, any kind of leaves that I've got at the time, like lettuce leaves. I try not to use spinach, and baby spinach and other, they should be cooked before consumption ideally. And then I put in parsley and coriander, and usually have like the Nudie brand juice because they're really fresh juices and they have no preservatives. And I don't juice fruit to add to that. I add the Nudie juice, purely because I don't have a juicer, and the Nudie juice is really good quality. There's no preservatives. It's just straight up fruit that's been juiced. So it's a bit of a shortcut. And I pop whatever, like I rotate those Nudie juice flavors, and I pop that into the green just to give it a little bit of sweetness. Otherwise, it's super bitter. To make it more palatable, because I usually share it with my husband. Pop a bit of ginger in, fresh gingers, cut a little bit off. Pop a bit of turmeric in. I've been using turmeric powder because I haven't been able to source rhizome easily at the moment, and a little bit of pepper, because that helps. The piperine in the pepper helps with the absorption, which is why we classically add pepper to our meals before we eat them, right? Or even during the cooking process, because it helps with the absorption of many different nutrients. So many cool tips and tricks I can share, as a naturopath, and I'd love to hear anyone else's tips and tricks that you've got to share as well. If you've had a similar journey or a loved one who's been through this recovery process. So that's about it for today's journey. I guess the lethargy is something is surprising me, I suppose. I mean, I get it, but I think my body's so used to moving, and now it takes so much effort for me to just walk from one end of the house to the other. Still getting used to using a walking stick. That can be more of a hindrance than a help at times, depending on how sore I am at the time, depending on how tired I am, depending on if I need to carry something in my non-dominant arm, which is unaffected. It is helpful, a walking stick, definitely, because it takes some of the weight off my good leg, my left leg. Otherwise it gets quite sore from walking around on the hard tiles all day. And also my hip flexor gets quite sore from bearing all the weight. Okay, I think I might have a coffee. I haven't had a coffee yet today, and I usually have one a day. Of course, I add extra nutrients to the coffee, like turmeric powder and cinnamon. Of course, I'm always making everything healthier than it is. And of course, also the chocolate powder, because the caffeine strips the vitamin C, from your body, and it puts a lot of pressure on your adrenal glands, and your adrenal glands love vitamin C and magnesium. So I've had my green juice